friends. Today is Friday. Well, I'm with my great friend Asim. Today he was the best kitchen assistant ever. He really was high commitment. How do you feel, Asim? The responsibility to assume the responsibility to handle this restaurant just with me.
I feel awesome. Yeah, I feel great. Today was before anything, it was an honor. It was an honor to be able to work with Nico and myself to be able to manage this space today at the New Vegan. It was a good challenge. It's like going through a battle, for the first time, and understanding how to handle pressures that you may have never experienced before, and being able to learn how to move through those things that which seems like they may stand in your way. So today, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge, and I'm looking forward for challenges more like it, so that we can grow, and it becomes like second nature.
Awesome. How do you feel the contact with the people that came to have lunch today and dinner too?
I felt good about the people. They enjoyed the food, though it took a little bit longer because we were so short-staffed today, with only two of us here managing the front and the back, doing all of the cooking and answering the phones and dealing with all the customers and questions and all of those things that come along with running a restaurant or having a business. But being able to deal with the customers one-on-one today, it was a lot of fun, because every individual is very different, and you have to learn how to deal with different types of characters. Everybody's a character, so people handle things differently, and it was a good challenge today for me.
What do you feel about that beautiful lady that offers himself to be a volunteer in the place?
What do you feel about the woman? No, I just think that today people, they saw why we were here. For us to not close when we had an opportunity today to be at the Boca Wine Festival as a whole, as a collective, for Nico and I to stay here when we could have been serving 800 to 900 people. That alone, for our customers and for the individual, it made her appreciate us even more, because we dealt with the pressure of being short-staffed, and two, us showing how much we care for the customers, that we're still here when we could be other places. So, and then for her to say that she was so impressed by us today that she wanted to volunteer without getting paid, that was pretty impressive. Yeah.
So, but how do you feel having the place full, 3 hours, non-stop, and just don't be, because you don't came from the world of the kitchen. You are a great kitchen assistant. You are really high commitment, but you don't came from the world of the kitchen. How do you feel when you have to adapt and move and be like an engine of that motor of the restaurant? Because you did a lot in the kitchen today.
Thanks. The words that keeps coming to my mind is just do it. Like Nike says, there comes a point where you can't necessarily, you get beyond thinking. It's weird, when you get into the motion, into the flow. It's just like any sport or any martial art. It's like in martial art, if that can be a closer analogy to it. Martial art. When you're training, but once you start to train, you start to see that you're in the flow. It becomes a second nature to you. So, I just got in the game and was able to appreciate doing it. It was a challenge, but I was still able to move around in it. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. And what do you think is the most important thing to run and sustain a kitchen?
Even before you finish your statement, the word that was coming to my mind is integrity. It's just being true to yourself, being true to your art, because everything is an art. Working entrepreneurship is a complete art. If this is what we're talking about, entrepreneurship, and us as newpreneurs or new entrepreneurs, I would say that this is an art, a piece of art, and like learning a new skill. Sometimes you have to work at it a little bit, and but it becomes a masterpiece. So I feel like I'm seeing the pieces of a masterpiece come together now. We see what's happening in the future right now. So I'm honored, for this time to be able to experience the magic of the moment.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. And last thing, could you give me a short feedback about how you felt like my directions in the kitchen, if you want to make a suggestion or whatever you have to say? Like, be honest.
It's all good. I'm a person that I do my best to try not to take two things seriously when you're under pressure, when you're in a space where it's easy to judge, but you don't necessarily see everything. But when you're working in the kitchen, it's a whole different ball game. It's you're in it. You're in the mud, and when you're going from 1 to 1,000, you understand that as a human, as an individual, that you learn how to work. You have to learn how to work with individuals. It's like a partnership or entrepreneurship. You have to learn how to work with people. If you're going to be successful at anything, learn how to deal with your own inner self. So the book by, I think it's Don Miguel Ruiz, has a book called The Four Agreements. And he talked about don't take things personally. Be impeccable with your word, things like that. So it's like, learn not to take things personally. When you're in the kitchen, when you're in the mud, I learned not to take it personally. Just learn how to work with what you have. And because we don't always know, we don't always understand everything that's going on, while we're in the mud. But the direction was great, from what you're saying. The direction was great. It was good to work with you and to learn and to pull back, the onion so that I can be able to learn more, and expand.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Great job, team. Great job.